While we approved the listing and trading of certain spot Bitcoin ETP shares today, we did not approve or endorse Bitcoin.
That was the official comment from the market regulator, Gary Gensler. Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Manoj Dara. So finally, Bitcoin spot ETF is official now. Investors can venture into the digital currency space, especially the one which has received the financial market regulators SEC's approval. Spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds filed by the Wall Street heavyweights, including the BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, as well as number of crypto native firms. This historic move announced on Jan 10th is expected to drive significant capital into the Bitcoin universe. Here is a report.
Yes. A spot Bitcoin ETF allows investors to gain exposure to the price of Bitcoin without the complications and risks of owning Bitcoin directly. Those include setting up crypto wallets and accounts with crypto exchanges, some of which have poor cybersecurity records and are prone to hacks.
January 10th will go down as an historic day for virtual digital assets, popularly known as cryptocurrencies, after the US market regulator gave its stamp of approval. The US Securities and Exchanges Commission on Wednesday approved the first US-listed exchange-traded funds to track Bitcoin in a watershed for the world's largest cryptocurrency and the broader crypto industry. The SEC approved 11 applications, including from BlackRock, ARK Investments 21 shares, Fidelity, Invesco, and Vanguard. Despite warnings from some officials and investor advocates that the products carried risks, most of the ETFs are set to go live today. It's been almost a decade-long struggle for ETFs as previous efforts provide futile. It is going to be a game changer for Bitcoin, offering investors exposure to the world's largest cryptocurrency without directly holding it. As per Standard Chartered analysts this week, the ETFs could draw $50 billion to $100 billion this year alone. Other analysts have said inflows will be closer to $55 billion over 5 years. While the discussion is on with regards how this will turn into a big positive for the sagging industry, which is mired into several controversies including frauds and hacks, the question over legality over the currency remains a key issue. The moot point here is how the product such as ETFs will help turn the fortune amid the possibility of mass adoption. Industry experts believe that Bitcoin could change the world, and they remain excited at the prospect of democratizing access to this asset.
So after that quick update on the SEC development, let's listen into what industry biggies have to say about this development.
I'm open to the idea of using Bitcoin on X.
So we got in way before BlackRock.
Bitcoin is the offer you can't refuse.
The ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF, ARKB, is approved and launching 11th January 2024.
That was an interesting insight provided by the people that matters the most. Let's understand further how this move will change the scenario and its consequences. I have my colleagues joining with me, Shubham Joshi and Abhishek Chauhan. Let me start this conversation by asking Abhishek first. So, how will this ETF work? We have been really optimistic about this move from the last 3 to 4 months. And how do you see this move making an impact in this cryptocurrency market?
Yes, Manoj, thank you for the question. So basically how an ETF works is ETF is an exchange traded fund which allows you to buy a particular commodity. So in this case, it's an Bitcoin ETF. So the Bitcoin ETF got approved. Similarly, we've seen gold ETFs which have come. And now the Bitcoin ETF which has been approved allows you to buy Bitcoin through a regulated asset. So we have investment companies, as you said earlier, like BlackRock, Invesco, Fidelity. And now that's a big move into the space, I believe, because BlackRock has $9 trillion, $10 trillion asset under management.
As of now.
Exactly. And now them opening the doors for institutional, retail and all the other investors to buy BTC without the risk of the price volatility and investors getting a share into the picture. This is what the ETFs have done very wonderfully. People were worried about exchanges after what we saw with FTX and the FTX collapse, but people were worried on going to exchanges. But now... And we also had the Terra Luna collapse, Celsius and 3 Arrow Capital and everything. There was a broader concern in the markets. And from there, from November 2020, we have 2022, we have seen an upsurge in the cryptocurrency markets. That's correct. So that's where the upsurge came in with the ETF announcement. The rumors came in first, and then the we had a Cointelegraph intern who accidentally tweeted the approval of the BTC ETF a few months ago. So that is what we've seen in the entire space, and this has now finally the ETF being approved has brought in a very good insight. The trading starts in a few hours from now, so I'm very excited to see how the trading for the ETFs would go like.
So Abhishek, just to simplify this for our viewers, so these will be listed on the Nasdaq, NYSE and CBOE, and their assets will comprise physical Bitcoin purchased from the cryptocurrency exchanges and held via custodians such as Coinbase Global, which has actually turned a big positive for the Coinbase as well.
That's correct. I mean, we are expected to see 4 billion in trading volume today in the spot Bitcoin.
Fantastic. And that's the day one.
That's the day one. And
huge volumes we're talking about. So, but let's move forward. And is it different to buy a Bitcoin outright? Let's start with Shubham. And let's understand, how this thing functions.
So basically, Manoj, that's an interesting question. Basically, the thing is, the spot Bitcoin ETF allows investors to gain exposure to the prices of the Bitcoin without the complications involved and risk of the Bitcoin. So basically, adding on to that, nevertheless, you can also get the setting. You can also set up crypto wallets with the help of that, and without the prone attacks and without the cyber hacks. How cool is that?
So since we are dealing with a broader cybersecurity concern as well, holding a Bitcoin in hardware or maybe cold wallets or any other wallets is vulnerable to attacks or cyber attacks. So what's your opinion on that, Abhishek?
I mean, so retail or the new investors who come into the trading and into, they don't want to miss out on the Bitcoin bubble. This is the main thing they've been having FOMO, which is fear of missing out at the market.
And prone to more attacks.
And that is where when you use an exchange, you saw FTX, what happened. And more than FTX, when you go on the blockchain, people don't understand how the technicalities of it work. The user experience, the journey to get onto these platforms, everything is very difficult. So when we get into an ETF, it's very vanilla cream. It's very simple. You can come in, you can directly invest into the ETF. You do not have to be worried about your exchange going down. You do not have to be worried about your MetaMask wallet getting hacked. So many things happen in the crypto space, but now this is the first step for someone to come in safe and more regularly in the legal aspect of it. So it opens a lot of doors, it opens endless possibilities, and one thing is that the spot Bitcoin ETF is, something that we expect to do.
So Shubham, according to you, you have done some kind of maths. So what do you estimate, how this thing will change the way B2B or B2C functions?
So basically what I think, Manoj, is that when in the month of September 2021, when the Bitcoin futures, US SEC had adopted Bitcoin futures in the month of 2021, we saw a huge volume of $1 billion.
Fantastic.
And itself in the first day. But now on the optimistic note, however, we got an approval from the US SEC, it is moved that $4 billion worth of daily volume trading will be done on the first day.
How this spot Bitcoin ETF will be different from the existing setup, which is the Bitcoin futures ETF?
Good question, Manoj, because we already have the futures ETF going on from 2 years. So
exactly,
why does the spot make a difference? I mean, what's getting
how it will make a difference?
Exactly. So the problem with futures, or the challenges that we saw in the futures Bitcoin ETF is that the prices were not that much interact with Bitcoin's price. So there was not a lot of volatility. The price did not follow the momentum, and that created a lot of, you couldn't really trade Bitcoin.
Just to add to what Abhishek, you have just highlighted, is it was launched at a time when the market was in the bull phase.
Exactly.
And post that, we have seen the Terra Luna collapse, the 3 other capitals, the Celsius, the FTX,
all the events,
and the broader concern in the cryptocurrency market.
That's correct. So I think because of that and the timings, everything did not seem aligned. But spot Bitcoin ETF is where a futures contract is rolled over, and it's constantly rolled over for an indefinite.
There's also a cost that is involved in that.
Exactly. So that is what I've talked about. So that cost does not make it profitable to actually trade a futures Bitcoin ETF, whereas in a spot Bitcoin ETF, you carry less risk and the momentum or the price action is followed with Bitcoin's price action. So it's like you're trading the asset itself, but now you have a much better and legal way. And with the companies that have entered into the picture, BlackRock, Investco, and Fidelity, it's a huge industry that's opened
So since
up.
you are talking about, it will be tackled in a much legal way.
Yeah.
You have been very actively trading, or maybe in a community. You are driving a community as well in the cryptocurrency. So how popular is this instrument? I'm talking about the Bitcoin futures ETF.
So the Bitcoin futures ETF is something that every trader, so I trade regularly, I follow other traders, I'm in touch, I have my own community as well. So what I've understood is that this has been one of the most anticipated events, but the main thing is after the approval, the pricing of Bitcoin was beautifully done. The price of Bitcoin did not rise a lot. It was volatile, it was stable, it was not volatile, and it did not go up as much. So this means that the pricing was very well done.
Fantastic.
And now what we are expecting all the more is that people, if you've seen the markets, Ethereum has been pumping from the last 24 hours. Ethereum is up by 10% on the daily chart.
Exactly, that's what the anticipation was. Once the Bitcoin spot ETF is approved, the focus will now shift on Ethereum, which has actually not risen. Bitcoin actually has risen roughly around 70% last year.
Correct.
And we have also seen a rally till $47,000. But on their spot Bitcoin ETFs in Canada and Europe, that's my second question, Abhishek, because we are talking about the first Bitcoin spot ETF, but actually there were Canada and the other regions have actually approved the Bitcoin. So how different it is?
I mean, Canada and Europe are, when you compare them to the US, I mean, they act as smaller players. When a big entity like the US comes in, there's a lot of money which comes in. So these big firms, they open ETFs, and that's where most of the money is sitting, and that's where most of the investors are sitting at. So
we're talking about institutionalization of Bitcoin as an asset class, and we are looking to attract a lot of money, since there are a lot of institutional investors that are not actually allowed to directly go and buy Bitcoin. But with this route, I think so there are a lot of.
So it opens the doors for endless possibilities now.
All right. So how much, according to your research, Shubham, how much is going to the Bitcoin ETF is going to reel in?
So basically, Manoj, I think according to the estimates, we have already spoken about it, that around $4 billion worth of share trading will be done on the first day itself. But we have also seen that recent tweet, it was also witnessed that BlackRock has already started its pre-trading session, and it has already attracted like 25% increase.
Fantastic.
So I think it's a big move, and we'll just wait and watch how it happens when the actual trading starts.
That's actually, everyone is keeping an eye on. But just to add a couple of lines, it's a huge positive. There were analysts who were commenting on the Twitter, on X, for the institutionalization of the Bitcoin. Standard Chartered expects ETFs could draw roughly around $50 billion to $100 billion. That's what you have mentioned. And on the upper end, there are a lot of analysts who are expecting the Bitcoin to reach 1 lakh or maybe more than that, Abhishek.
Yeah, we got a decent, just now we got an prediction from DWS Green that BTC can hit 60K near term. That's a very short time.
That's what analysts are saying.
So that's what's happening. We have a $55 billion volume expected for the entire year, as you said. And now Robinhood, which is one of the biggest platforms, has already listed all the 11 ETFs.
So if we see the size of US ETFs, that stood at $6.5 trillion as on December 2022. It's a huge opportunity for the entire cryptocurrency market, and it's a big thumbs up, and it's a big victory as we speak. But some regulatory aspects, regulatory experts also believe that Bitcoin ETF could also pave the way for other innovative crypto products. And now, as you have rightly mentioned, that the next turn is of Ethereum. So how much optimistic you are, and the entire community, are they talking about it now?
The entire community.
And if there is a time frame, because we have seen Ethereum rally from roughly around $2,300 to 25 or maybe more than that.
$2,600. I think it's trading at 26 right now. So what I expect with Ethereum is that Ethereum is the next ETF which comes into picture. After BlackRock going for BTC, the next obvious option is Ethereum. Right? And by analysts, what they've said, they're expecting it to get approved by May or August. These are the two predictions which analysts are saying on Twitter. And when this happens, I mean, we've already seen a 10% rise in Ethereum's price today. It's gone up, it's to $2,600, and $5,000 is the target.
Exactly. But Abhishek, do you think that it's all about, just about the money? I mean, we're talking about institution coming in, we're talking about a broader regulatory aspect. What kind of atmosphere will it bring in, the ETFs? What kind of stability it will bring in? So what is, according to what the traders are saying? What's your assessment?
The traders, traders are just, when it comes to trading, it's a little bit more about, what's happening in the market, whether direction would be of, is BTC going to the moon or is ETH going to the moon? So that is what traders look at. I mean, it opens a lot of legal and regulatory aspects, so I think it's very bullish. It's something that, ETH, we've already seen, Bitcoin's ETF approval was already priced, and it pumped for the past 3 months when the ETF got filed, and now the ETH approved, now it's expected that ETH, and ETH has been booming within just 24 hours, so it's expected.
Fantastic.
What's
ETH,
the way to go?
And for the crypto industry, a spot Bitcoin ETF is a big win, boosting the legitimacy of the cryptocurrency industry and pushing Bitcoin further into the mainstream. That's all there is from the studio. With me, Shubham, and Abhishek, this is the sign off. Thank you.
Well, first of all, congratulations to the whole crypto community that Bitcoin ETFs have been finally approved after so much anticipation. we may see a surge in price in coming days. I would not say that it may happen overnight, but it may eventually, because now Bitcoin ETF will prove to be a catalyst, to the Bitcoin halving, which is happening in the next 3-4 months. So these two events will have a global impact on the whole crypto community around the world. We may see other countries may go ahead and implement it in future, and the sentiments for the day-to-day trader would help to know that how Bitcoin ETFs are proving to be a boon to the crypto community.
The approval of Bitcoin ETF by the SEC is great news, but frankly it should not come as a big surprise. Bitcoin is the world's largest cryptocurrency and one of the fastest growing assets in the world. If there's any asset which deserves an ETF, it's Bitcoin. The SEC has approved 11 applications, BlackRock, ARK Invest, Fidelity and others. And it's a big win for the crypto evangelists and for the crypto community. And it will definitely lead to the mainstream acceptance of Bitcoin and the institution of Bitcoin as an asset class. Thank you.
Asking all the newbies who wants to enter, who were very much scared, they can use this Bitcoin ETF and enter the market, and you can see this time the overall crypto market volume will touch close to $5 trillion. So things are very positive, but we will see a lot of liquidation around the news, and yes, money rotation will happen. Now we are seeing Ethereum also rising up, so be watchful, don't over leverage. The price will be volatile for the next few weeks as the ETF goes live.